DV is a dying format. Shooting on tape just isn't comparable with the modern day storage solutions and digital cameras. Cost, speed, quality of image, DV doesn't really compete. So why do I still shoot with it in 2023? Especially when you can arguably get a similar effect with just a few LUTs and filters in DaVinci or Premiere. Well, it comes down to one word in a way for me, and that's authenticity. See, I love the feeling of nostalgia that DV gives me. That true nostalgia you get when you shoot with something that evokes a bygone era. The sort of feeling you don't want to cheat or fake. I grew up in the era of the early 2000s where DV and HDV, the use of them was ripe. It was everywhere. I'm now getting to the age where I want to replicate my youth in my storytelling. I want to recapture that sense of youth and nostalgia by using a format that's familiar with me, authentic to the time period I might be wanting to capture feelings from. It's not just enough to replicate the image for me, but it's trying to capture the feeling, that essence, that kind of thing you can't describe with words. I went to America for the first time in late 2022, and the only camera I brought with me? This, an old Sony DV camcorder. With only a couple of these tapes with me, I tried to only capture the truly memorable parts of the trip. I didn't want to just take thousands and thousands of photos, disposable, where they didn't mean anything because I knew I could always capture it again and again and again. I wanted it to feel like a memory, lost in time. I'd film only a couple of seconds or even a couple of minutes at a time, knowing I had a 60-minute limit per tape. I didn't have the luxury of near unlimited storage or battery life that you might get from a mobile phone or a DSLR. I had to think about what I was shooting. It was almost like shooting on celluloid, but with this nostalgic glow I had from my childhood. So it made me think a lot about what I was shooting. What was it that I actually wanted to capture? What feelings do I want to evoke? Deep down, I wanted that nostalgia of a childhood holiday. A tape you might find somewhere in the attic in a box somewhere if you're moving out in 10 years' time. Just like celluloid film, DV manages to capture something tangible. It's very particular in its style and execution. It's cumbersome to load the tape into a recorder, wire it up to a computer and copy it over in real time. It's those sort of moments that make the whole process feel real and memorable. And DV is starting to return to the public consciousness. I just saw Aftersun a couple of months ago and it blew me away. I loved it, especially the moments that were shot or replicating DV and HDV. Those that grew up during the DV era, like myself, are now getting old enough to start creating and telling their stories, diving into their youth and nostalgia and memories, and taking those moments. For so many people in my generation, those memories live on DV and HDV tapes. Just why some older filmmakers might shoot on Super 8 or Super 16 to emulate the feeling they had growing up and what made them fall in love with filmmaking and creating. Are there better formats? Absolutely. But sometimes it's not just about pixel count. Sometimes it's deeper than that. Sometimes it's a feeling, the colours of an image, that creative choice, that sense of nostalgia. I love you, DV, and I really hope more people look to using it because I think it's untapped potential. And I think we're hitting a wave of people rediscovering this format. Not because of what it can't do, but what it can do. Every piece of technology, especially in films and cameras, have their drawbacks and disadvantages. But if we take a moment to just concentrate on what you're getting from them, I think you might find something special in DV.